Okay guys, today on Chris Does What, we're going to show you how to prepare homemade bread with lentil stew and cabbage in it. So y'all stay tuned. Okay guys, here we are dining in with Danielle as she cooks a wonderful meal. And she spends hours doing this. These meals just don't magically appear. Here she is, she's made some bread. She used, of course, the mixer. She's making lentils with cabbage right here. These, lentils, you can't just throw lentils into a crock pot and it'd be ready. You have to soak them.
Mess. Thank you.
You have to soak them. You have to make soak them the night before, right?
Not lentils, beans.
Beans,
you have to soak overnight. You can soak those for like an hour.
An hour? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have to soak them for an hour before you can actually start crock-potting them.
Well, it absorbs the water, kind of makes them so they can get soft.
So, yeah.
I've done it the other way where you just immediately start boiling them, and let me tell you, you'll never get them soft. They're disgusting, actually. So you got to boil them or cook them first with nothing in them. No salt, no nothing.
Yeah.
Get them, I don't know, halfway cooked, and then you put all your ingredients in and just let it cook away until it's ready.
Okay, so she's taken the dough out of the bowl. It's all fluffed up, it's expanded to full expansion, and now she's going to cut it into bite-sized characters that fit in them pans right there.
Wow. You just divide it in half. Alright, I'm going to put this one here.
Guys, the dough she makes completely awesome. Really.
This actually requires me to do this way and roll it. Other ones I do, you just set it in there and then it will, expand and rise and whatever. But for some reason, this one requires me to roll it. It's probably because it gets a lot more poofier and airy.
Oh, why does it do that, babe?
Well, it could be the oatmeal that's in it. There's a lot of yeast. Well, that kind of looks weird.
Yes, this is oatmeal bread.
Oh my goodness. And then you have to just fold under the stuff, and then that's when you put it in here.
And let it rise.
But you gotta, move it around and make sure it's even, or else it will fall to one side like this one's trying to do. But you know what? Homemade bread ain't perfect, so it's good though.
It is. And it's completely good when you eat it.
So, and the reason why it's not sticking is because it required me to put olive oil on the outside of it, and that was because it makes it so much easier when you go to roll it. You don't want to do too much here.
And if you want more on how to make bread, or how dining in with Danny, how she makes bread, just leave feedback below and we'll expand on this.
I've been making bread since I was 11. My mom taught me, and she was a really good cook, and she taught me a lot of things, and so bread has just been, if you're going to eat carbs and bread, I really, really encourage you to make your own. Because people think that I don't eat carbs. Yes, I do. All the time. You just have to make it yourself so that you can, stay healthier.
Pick the ingredients.
All that processed stuff, you go to the grocery store and you buy homemade bread from the deli. No, I wouldn't touch that stuff. Plus, it's been sitting there all day.
Well, they use things like bleached flour and things like that, where here you can pick your ingredients you're going to use.
Use unbleached flour. The flour I use is called King Arthur's because it's unbleached white wheat flour, if you know what that means. But it's better for you, so.
It's yummy, that's what I know.
And now, we gotta put this like this. This is what I do, so I can only have to use one towel.
Why do you cover it up?
Because it keeps the heat in there for the yeast. The yeast, if your bread goes cold in the middle of rising, the yeast is not going to allow your bread to rise because it's cold. And this has happened to me before, and you can salvage it. You just have to heat up some water, kind of make a I don't know, steam room under there, and then it will start, you know, rising again. But yeah, you just cover it up. This is probably going to take another 45 minutes to completely rise, and then we'll stick it in the oven.
Okay guys, a little slow on the trigger here, but we got the onions and cabbage in the lentils in the crock pot. So this has been going on, they soaked for an hour, and it's been over here for how many hours?
An hour.
So we're in this about 2 hours now, and so at 2 hours we put cabbage and onions in the lentils.
Chicken bouillon and a can of crushed tomatoes.
Okay.
And pepper. Yeah, that's all I have in here so far.
How much water?
4 cups.
4 cups. Okay.
Well, actually, it's 4 cups of bouillon.
4 cups of bouillon to.
And then you add the can of, you know, tomatoes, and you add all that juice in there as well.
Okay. And then there was how many pounds of lentils? 1.
Well, probably a regular bag. What, like 16 ounce?
16 ounce. Okay.
Wait, actually, I'd have to look up just a regular bag that you buy at the grocery store, not a big one, but a, you know, family size one.
Huh.
Is all in there, and then let's see. Yeah, that's all that's in there right now. I'm probably gonna add a few more spices, but I'm gonna wait to see what this turns out tastes like before I go and ruin it. Yes. I may try some cumin and chili pepper in it just to kind of give it a spice, more like a I don't know, kind of like a vegetarian chili. Sometimes I do that with lentils because they can be boring. So yeah, we'll make that decision in a little bit.
And I don't think she's ever used a recipe to cook. She just.
I Google, like if I have something in the house, I'll Google, like I said, I had lentils and cabbage, and I know there's something you can do with it. And recipes come up, and if you don't have everything for the recipes, I alternate. But I've been cooking for so long that I know what to alternate with and what could make it better. Or sometimes I take one recipe and another recipe, and then my ideas, I really just need to start writing a book.
You do?
Yeah, because they're all in here. They're all there. I experiment a lot. My family gets experimental meals.
It's awesome. So, bread has rose. We've taken the blanket off there. I guess it's done all the heat thing it needed to do. Loaves look really yummy. Yes, we do have 2 different size glass bread pans.
Which makes a difference on the rising, but it don't really matter.
So she's preheated the oven to 350 degrees, and she's now sliding the bread in the oven. It's a beautiful thing.
So bad. So bad.
So how long are you going to cook the bread at 350?
It says between 45 and 55 minutes. So I'm going to do, you always start at the lowest because you don't want to overcook bread. And so we'll check it after 45 minutes. If it needs more, then we'll do it more.
Awesome. And we're going to leave this recipe below for the bread as well. All this meal, you can see the recipe below. Okay. Ta-da! And there's bread. So how long did this cook for, babe?
45 minutes, and I'm gonna test it. And this is how you test it. You don't stick a knife through this. My mom taught me this. You it sounds hollow, it's done.
Yay! And boy, that smells good. I know this is not smell-o-vision, but man, that smells tasty.
You can butter the top, oil the top. I'm probably gonna leave it like this because I want them a little crispy for the to dip into your lentils. So we'll just let that sit, and we're just waiting a couple hours for the lentils now.
Okay, and so far we're about 3 hours in to cooking the lentils.
Since about noon, yeah, about 3.5 hours.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So
it's in a crock pot though. I mean, if you do it on the stove, it's, you know, half the time, but, or I do it in a crock pot because it, I don't know, it simmers the flavors better. So
a good home cooked meal can take you pretty much all day, even though you're not there all day cooking on it. It's
no, I call it like steps or stages. I'm like, okay, I'm starting the first stage of dinner, and then about a couple hours later, I'll go down to the second step, and then the final, you know, the final step is done, and then dinner's ready.
The da-da moment.
Right. Well, go ahead.
Okay, so we're in our last stages. This is 7 hours of prep for this meal. And this, you see from where we started, is really thickening up. Looks really yummy. And what well did you put in this to make this so yummy?
Okay, well, there's a recipe.
Of course.
But well, let me see. Garlic, onion, cabbage, a can of tomatoes, of course lentils, 4 cups of stock, whether you want to use, I use chicken, you can use vegetable or beef.
That would make it vegetarian.
Flavor. Exactly, if it was vegetable. Pepper, I didn't put any salt in it because the bouillon, the chicken stock already has salt in it. And cayenne and basil. I did not put in 2 ingredients, which was out of that recipe, which was the sriracha pepper sauce and some kind of ingredient I've never heard of. I'm gonna have to look it up to see why it's important. It may change the flavor, I don't know, but I've already taste tested this and it's pretty good. It's kind of got like a spicy, but little tiny sweetness from the cabbage, because cabbage is sweet if you saute it or put it in a soup.
So now that we have the finished product, you'll see she's cutting the bread. It has great texture, and the lentils are awesome. They smell completely yummy. And then we're going to use this butter, Amish Country roll butter.
Oh, the best.
It is awesome. And of course, we already put cayenne in it, but I have to have a little extra heat. So, if you like this channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, hit that like button. It's down there somewhere. Looks like this. Y'all guys, please take care.
Bye.